is not everything that it's cracked up to be. This is one of the big issues we get asked questions on all the time. If I were to rent my house out, how do I stop somebody from trashing it? And although there's no bulletproof way to control what other people do, you can mitigate against these things. But in today's video, what we're going to talk about is those situations where the tenant actually did damage it and what you can do about it. And so that's what we're going to cover. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing. If you give us a thumbs up and even a comment, it would help the algorithm to get this content out to more people. We appreciate you very much. Let's go ahead and talk about being a landlord and what happens when they trashed your property. Okay, so I have many investors that are full-time investors, like they own 10 plus properties, and this is what they do. Those properties are meant for them to be cash flowing and being able to make money off of it, and so it's a professional business, right? So this is not something that they just do as a hobby or something in which they were forced into, right? So that's investor type number one. Investor type number two is going to be the investor that they had a property, they never planned on being a landlord, but maybe they owed too much on the property, or they had a family member that gifted them another house, and so they moved into that one, but they didn't want to get rid of this one, so they went ahead and turned it into a rental property, and they became a landlord by default. And so you get into this situation, and here's how this goes. Right, so the tenant quits paying, generally is going to be the first thing that's going to happen. Then they're living there for free, and as long as you accept partial rents, even if they're sending you like half a check and they'll say, I'll have the rest of the money next week, if you take that check, well, you really can't do the eviction process. So basically you have to stop all the money coming in, say pay in full, or we're just not going to accept any money. You have to pay the full month's rent. We're not going to accept money so that we can go down the road of an eviction process. You start the eviction process. It takes time. In the meantime, while they're living there not paying, in some cases, they ended up trashing the property. So two particular ones that happened to me. One was an investor in Ackworth that owned a piece of real estate. And it was one of the first ones that we had sold him. He owned like 8 others as well. No problems with those. But this tenant, I think because of the 2020 issue, like they lived in this house probably for more than a year without paying, and it was trashed. So when you get to a trash property, you have a couple different options to be able to do it. So one, you have to go through the eviction and get them out of the property legally. Once that's done, then you can shift to solutions, right? So solution number one is we take that as is property. We find an investor buyer that will take it with all the garbage and everything in it, pay you a fair price for the property, and move on. We have that option available. We have multiple investors that do flips. And in this particular case, one of my investors stepped in, bought this property, and they hired crews to come in and clean it out, fix it up, and then we turned around and sold a completed product that was very well done and basically made more inventory on the market. So that's option number one. Option number two is you do a halfway. So the prehab is one where you're going to get the junk removal people to come and take all the junk out of the house and put it into a dumpster. Now the house isn't necessarily fixed up, but you remove a lot of the factor that is in the process so that you can, in fact, find a buyer for more money, be able to do that process, and anything in between. So for example, you might do that and do carpet and paint, but the kitchen cabinets are still damaged, the water heater's still old, the roof might need replacing, the outside might need some painting, but you did some of the stuff to pretty it up and maybe even sell it direct to a homeowner that would do some elbow grease and fix it up the rest of the way. They get a little bit of a deal. They're able to put some sweat equity into the property and go that direction. Then there's the full rehab. Now, if you don't want to do a full rehab, don't get into it. But we run into a lot of people that feel like their hands are tied. They have to. They got to get some quotes. And this is really your second kind of landlord where they might have had a couple investment properties. Maybe it's intentional, or maybe they just got remarried and now they ended up having this other property. It wasn't ideal to sell it, so they went ahead and rented it out tenant destroys the property. Now you find yourself stuck in a rehab, and that option 3 may be the one on the table, where then you're going to partner with somebody like us who's going to help sell the property, and we're going to provide you with a lot of contractors that can come in. Now, we have contractors that will do the whole thing for you. So Ike is one of our guys that you can go in and he can basically GC the whole thing and, you know, bring on all the different subs, and it's kind of done in one foul swoop for it. So that is one excellent, affordable way to do that. If budget is a bigger issue and you need to cut back on margins, then you can actually say, okay, what trades do you need? You need a plumber, you need an electrician, you need an HVAC guy, you need carpet, you need paint, you need handymen for the miscellaneous work, for sheetrock repairs and exterior stuff. We can give you a list of all those different people, and you can GC the property yourself to get it ready to go to the market. There are some standard things that you're going to want to put into that situation, but this destroyed property, as it's perceived right now, is fixable, and you can, depending on the market you're in, find a way to profit from that. If you can, the more you do, in at least at the time when this video is recorded, fixing the property up more will produce a better result for you. If we were in 2021, you'd do the bare minimum and basically sell that thing and probably do just as well. If you were to fix it up, you might have even done better, but I'm not sure the juice was in the squeeze. At least that's not how the market was behaving at that time. Here and now, it's all going to be about, if it's turnkey, you can command a better price, especially in your entry price point houses. So anything under the median price point, which is, I'm going to loosely say $500,000. It's really going to be somewhere between $475,000 and $425,000, depending on what area of the county you're in. But let's just say $500,000. If it's under that, and once you need to put the money in, you could probably get a pretty good return. So if you found yourself being a landlord and you didn't want to be, and you want somebody to take over a nightmare or a headache, give us a call. We can definitely connect you up with a qualified database of buyers that buy these things. We ourselves also sometimes buy them if it's the right deal in the right area for us. If you're looking to be able to do the work yourself and you need some guidance and you just want a professional real estate agent to help you sell it on the backside, but they're going to consult with you on the front side, also reach out to us, because that's what we can do. So I appreciate you guys so much. Please consider, if you've made it this far in the video, definitely give us a subscribe or a comment. Let us know what information you liked. If you have a different opinion, if you don't like the rehab, the prehab, or the just sell it direct type of things, you have a different solution, let me know what it is. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.